Hello everybody, today I'm going to be showing you how to install your newly purchased Genisys 3 system onto one of your vehicles. So, to start out we need two things. We need a vehicle to install on, so I'm just going to use this demo vehicle here, which I've imported, and you need your Genisys 3 package. So inside the package you should have pretty much everything that comes with it, so the configuration, sound if you want it, event scripts, values, light groups. Parts here is just for storing any parts from your light bar that aren't going to flash, just so it stays nice and welded. Should be a GUI called siren control and your pre-packaged light settings. So I'm going to start off by quickly showing you what the end result should look like. So I've already installed it on this one so you can see what the end result's going to be. So when you get in your vehicle, it's going to give you this lovely GUI here, and you've got all of your different lighting zones and configurations. So for example, 360, that just lights up all of your blues. So this is what it should look like. You have a nice flash pattern going on here, which is scripted, and then come around to back 360 degrees, so all of the zones are on. And we can also turn our reds on here. Awesome. So let's hop straight into it. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to prepare our lights. So every single one of these lights, so I've put all of my demo lights into a little group here and they've all got point lights. You don't necessarily need point lights to make this work, but I just feel like it adds a little bit more atmosphere. I know a lot of people choose to use it, so if I turn these all on you can see what it's going to look like when we have them all on. So there you go, that's quite bright. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn these down just a little bit. There we go, that looks more sensible. So now you'll see in your little Genisys folder here, you have something called light settings. Now that needs to be in every single light so that the scripts know what light is going to be what color. So there are three main properties of it. There's the color off, so that's what it's going to look like when the light's turned off. There's the color on, which is what it's going to look like when it's turned on. And then there's the half time. So basically when you enable that, that just means it's going to flash 2 times longer. In this instance, I've already got my colors set. The way the scripts work is these parts will flash neon and then they'll also change color. So because of the way this works, if we just simply set this one to neon, as you can see, we don't need to change the color. It's already bright enough as neon. So that means we're going to leave the colors the same, and then half time we want it to flash nice and fast, so we're going to keep that off. So we're going to go through these demo lights and we're going to insert this lighting configuration into every single light. So you can simply select them all and then you can do Ctrl-Shift-V, which will insert a light settings package into every single one of these lights. Now, because we've got 2 reds on the back here, we're going to want to change it for the reds. So you can use Ctrl and Alt to select the reds, and then we're just going to drop these down. We're going to pick a nice colour for the reds, so I'd say when it's off we're going to have a nice darkish red here, and when it's on we are going to have a nice light red. Now, for the reds, I'm going to enable half time, just so they can flash a little bit longer. There's other things you can change in the configuration, but you don't necessarily have to do that. So, I'm confident we've got that all going. The next stage is we need to move the Genisys 3 model into our vehicle. So take Genisys 3 and it's as simple as just copying it, and then you want to go into this RSPD2 folder. If you don't have one, make sure you have one. And then usually your vehicle seat's there. Sometimes it can be at the top of the body here. I'll show you how to deal with that later if it's not. But just make sure you got a folder called that. And what we're going to do is we're going to use Ctrl-Shift-V again to paste the Genisys 3 folder in here. So now that we've got all our lights prepared, it's as simple as just drag and drop. So we're going to open up our lights groups folder and cycle 1. So that's basically when it turns on, it's going to flash between, it's going to alternate. That's how most police car lights work. So that's one half of the alternation, which is why it's called cycle 1. So we're going to choose what we want to be in the first alternation, if you like. So we're going to want this main light bar piece here. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag and drop this into the front section. So, well, we've got different categories. So we've got front, we've got bar flasher, which we don't have installed, but usually that dictates the white stripes which go on the front of this light bar here. And we don't have those, so we're going to ignore that. You've got grille lights, you've got rear lights, which is usually the other half of the light bar. We don't have that, but we're going to put some rear grille lights in there. You got reds, which are these lovely things here. They're usually used in the UK. And we've got the side lights. Now, we don't have any sides on this light bar either, so we're going to leave that empty. But we can just simply drag and drop all of the parts. So, I'm going to go through and I'm going to find one of these grow lights. There we go, perfect. Now we're going to take that up and we're going to drag and drop it into the grill section. And let's do the same for the rear. So let's go and find a light in the rear. It's going to be slightly further down. Perfect. Right, we're going to drag and drop that into the rear section. Now I'm sure you get the idea. So, I am going to quickly... In fact, no, let's do the reds as well. So, the reds are just simply parts in line, so you can just drag and drop those in there. We already changed the colour inside them, so that's perfect. I'm going to quickly do the other side and then I'll get back to you. Right, so that's all done. So as you can see, I've gone and moved the other parts into the other side of the script, so that'll be in the cycle 2 section. Now, finally, we need to put our siren in. So we can simply drag and drop the siren, and that's going to go in the special parts folder, and we need to make sure it's called middle. So, the necessities for this section is you want to have a horn, if possible. I mean, it's not necessary, but there you go, we have a horn. And then you need sirens 1, 2, and 3, so those are quite simply just play. Once that's in there, that's pretty much it. So now, all we need to do is we're going to go back into here, and we have this GUI called Siren Control. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this, and we're going to find our vehicle seat, so whether it's in the RSPD2 section or it's just below the body. We're going to expand it, and we are going to paste it into our seat. Now you need to make sure you've got a GUI giver script, so I've got my 2 here. And you need to make sure you've got one of those. It doesn't come pre-packaged with one of those, but most vehicles have them. So I'm going to leave that up to you to find it. And then the final stage is just to make sure you go to this drop down, you go to this bound to property, and as you can see, mine's not set, so you need to take it and you need to set it to this events folder here. And then that's pretty much it. So you can just play here, hop in the vehicle, and as you can see, we've got the GUI. And press it, and it all turns on. Brilliant. Just going to quickly test the reds as well. What's gone wrong here? Alright, let's have a look. So let's turn all of these off. I know what. I've forgotten to anchor the reds. Rookie mistake. Alright, there you go. Quick fix. So we're going to hop back in the driver's seat and just make sure the reds are there. Yep, they're there. Test them. Awesome. They work. So that is pretty much how you install base Genisys 3. Some installations are more complicated than others, but it's the same procedure, just if you have more lights, it will take a certain amount of time. I'm going to briefly run you through the configuration and what options you've got, because we have a configuration script, and that's actually located, if you go, it's in the configurations folder. Look at that, how useful. So you open up the server folder, server script even, and now a lot of these features are for further releases, so a lot of them don't have features at the minute, but you can see there's a section related to each different zone, because we've got our script zones here. Now, the installed boolean doesn't work, and these headlight flashes section don't work, but you'll see you have some timings here. So you have the on time, the off time, and the cycles per switch. So the on time determines how long your lights will stay on for, and that's usually in seconds. So if you set it to 0, that'll just be the minimum Roblox wait time, which is 0.03 seconds. And then off time, simple, same but off. Cycles per switch, that's basically how many times the light's going to flash before it switches to the other side, so before it switches between cycle 1 and cycle 2. So you can modify that. So for example, if I set that to 3, you'll notice that we're going to have some really fast grow lights. Let's hop in. Ooh, what's it under? It would be under front LEDs, wouldn't it? There you go. So you can see we've got very fast grow lights. Then, equally, we could go back into that configuration, and we could go to the rear, and let's set it to 12 cycles per switch. So that means it's going to flash 12 times on each side. So pop into the vehicle seat, just do rear bar, and you'll notice it flashes 12 times per each cycle. So hopefully that helps you understand the configuration. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us on the Discord or send me a message. I'm more than happy to help. I've been Jake, and this is how to install Genisys 3 on one of your vehicles.